DC, you just need to stay in your lane. Alright, so WB has gotten into some trouble recently. Not in trouble per se. When Zack Snyder was under the helm, he was taking control of the DCEU. He started with Man of Steel and then continued with BVS. They started, getting hounded by the critics. And this is where this whole Marvel DC feud thing started, in my opinion. And most people's opinion, you can clearly see. So what did WB do? They tried to please the critics, and they rushed Zack out of there. They started trying to go for a more kid-friendly approach, more Marvel-esque. That's not what Zack was even going for. You talk to him yourself, he had like a 5-movie arc, and that was it. He wasn't going for this 20-movie, you know what I mean? He was going to keep it open for, them to go off and do their own thing with an Aquaman and Wonder Woman and all that stuff. At the end of the day, WB let the critics get to him. You can clearly see that there's a bias. There are Disney stans that want these movies to fail. It's plain as day. It doesn't matter what happens, what comes out. Every DC movie is trash. Here's the thing. When you thought of comic book movies before The Dark Knight, all of them, you just, all the older Batmans and everything, you're like, yeah, they were cool. They were comic book movies. Spider-Man, the Hulk, the X-Men. They were cool, man. They were fun. The turning point was The Dark Knight. Why are comic book movies so popular now? Because The Dark Knight didn't give you a comic book movie. Batman Begins didn't give you a comic book movie. They gave you a great film. First and foremost. And that is what changed the game. And this is my new favorite quote that I came up with. It's a little quote from Sandlot. If you remember, when Babe Ruth shows up, heroes are remembered, but legends never die. So my whole thing is, Marvel movies are remembered, but DC movies never die. And my takeaway from that is, yes, Marvel has been pushing out movies left and right. Yeah, but at the end of the day, and again, this could be my biasness because I'm a DC guy. At the end of the day, what movie am I going to go back to every time? The Dark Knight. I'm going to rewatch The Dark Knight every time. And then you have the Joker that comes out and is crushing it right now at the box office. That is not a comic book movie. Yes, I know he's associated with Batman. He's a villain. I get that. Yes, it is a comic book movie. But it is a fantastic piece of cinematography, of film. It is gorgeous. The score. There's nothing funny. There's no comedy in it. There's no adventure. There's no action. It is just, the acting is superb. It is just a great freaking film. It's shot beautifully. The story is amazing. The script is fantastic. The emotion brought to it. And guess what? I'm going to go back to that movie time and time and time again. And I can say the same thing for a Man of Steel or BVS. I will watch those movies over and over again. Because they're pushing the limits between a comic book movie and a great piece of film. When Marvel is really only focused on making a good comic book movie. Which is fine. And again, I'll continue to say this. That is fine. There are Marvel movies that I like. But when it comes to DC has to stay in their lane. Stay in your lane. Stop trying to get into the Marvel lane. And you can see that was the issue. Okay? So they push Zack out. They try for a more, a kid-friendly approach with the Justice League. The Justice League doesn't turn out so well. Then they come out with Aquaman. Aquaman kills it. Makes $1 billion. Aquaman was a good time. Again, it's not really a memorable film, but it's a fun film. The visuals are amazing. That's what it has going for it. Then they come out with Shazam, which is a really kid-friendly movie. The budget wasn't that much on it. They didn't make that much money, but I think they at least broke even and they made a little bit of profit on that movie. And then, again, you come out with Joker. You go back to the darkness, which everyone was like, what the hell? I thought you were trying to change your whole approach on this. What they're kind of calling this the DC Black Label or whatever. Come out with Joker. And people are throwing words around like masterpiece. Some of the great, one of the greatest films of all time, even. I couldn't look away when I was watching that movie. I can't endorse it enough. If you haven't seen it, you have to check it out. I cannot wait to watch it again and again and again and again. Because I'm going to go back to that. And that's why I say, DC, stay in your lane. That's what you have going for you. Be different. Be mature. Have different content from what Disney is producing. And that's how you set yourself apart. Disney can be the kid-friendly, focused material. You can be more mature. And you can have the best of both worlds, which is kind of I think what they're doing right now. With having the DCEU, and then you have this other label which you can do whatever you want. And that's the beauty of it. So, DC, I cannot say it enough. Do what you do best. And let the directors direct their movies. As far as what I know, Todd Phillips didn't really have any interruptions making this film. He made his film, and you can see more recently talking about a lot of improvising for the movie. A lot of scenes where in the script it was like, oh, okay, we're going to do this for this scene. And it was like, no, that doesn't make sense, or let's change it up and let's do something different. And there's a scene in Joker, which is my favorite scene in the movie, I think, where he does something bad and he runs into a bathroom. Instead of him doing, what most people would do is, I guess, hide his gun or clean up everything and just, act scared, like, oh my God, I hope they don't find me, and just sit there and kind of just in panic. He starts dancing. And when that started happening, I was like, whoa. That took me by surprise, and it was again, the score with the dancing and it is such a well-crafted scene. I shouldn't say DC, I should say Warner Brothers. Let the directors direct. Plain and simple. Let them do their thing, and you're going to have more success as a studio, as you can see. And don't be afraid to make films like that. Don't be afraid to make rated R films. Don't be afraid to make amazing films. Make masterpieces. Again, make a Dark Knight. Make a Logan. Make a Joker. These movies are fantastic, and these are the movies that we're going to be watching for years and years and years to come. Because, it's sad to say, again, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like even DC fans, or even Disney fans, in the near future, what are you going to go back to? Are you going to be like, oh, Infinity War, Endgame? They were great movies, but you're going to be like, oh, I can watch that all the time. I can watch it again. Well, can you? You might, but I feel like DC, that's what DC has. You ask a lot of people, no matter if they're DC, Marvel, what's one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, they're going to say The Dark Knight. Plain and simple, end of story. Turn the page. Anyway, guys, that's all I had to say about that. DC, one last time, stay in your lane, do your thing. You have great characters, so make great movies with those characters, and everything's going to be okay. Stop listening to the critics. Everything's fine. Let your directors direct, and we will love you for that going forward. Hey, and don't forget to release the Snyder Cut. Anyway, guys, please subscribe because it helps me, and in return, I can help you. And every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, new content's coming to you from Subjective Reviews, and don't forget to check it out. And as always, thank you for watching.